Well, hey guys, it's Destry. Welcome back to my Oregon yard. Today we're going to be working in this corner of my yard. We're really going to tackle pulling out a bunch of these old plants, a lot of zinnias, things that are tired and done for the summer season. We're going to make room for some new fall things in my window box, some gorgeous new flowers and plants we're going to plant up today. And then we are going to just kind of clear up this area and make room for my next big project, which is going to be planting bulbs. So if you're new to the channel, hey, I'm Destry. I garden here in the Pacific Northwest in Eugene, Oregon. We are a unique community and a fun-filled atmosphere with the Oregon Ducks football team and lots of other fun things in our area. It's a really beautiful place to garden. I'm very grateful and lucky to get to garden here in Oregon. Our ground is beautiful, our weather is beautiful, and it is a cold and rainy day. But today I'm going to take just this minute of sunshine, if I can get it, and get out here and start pulling out some of these old annuals. So in this garden bed, I had a bunch of zinnias planted. I have two garden beds here. This one here is my newer garden bed, and it is a Vego elevated garden bed. You guys, I have been so impressed with this garden bed this season. It has given me so much more planting space. It has been a really easy place to garden because everything is at waist height. And so it really makes it easy on the back, which I've had some back issues recently. And so it has just been a lovely place to garden and display some of my collectibles down on the bottom on the little shelf. I really enjoyed it this season. Now, you guys, it's getting to be the end of October and some of these plants are just done. The rain has come in. We've had really some stormy days. So if you haven't seen my video about the storm that we had and the tree limb that came down, we've had some issues to deal with in the garden, but this project has been on my mind. I really wanted to refresh this window box and get my bulbs planted for 2025. I guess that would be 2026. Yeah, for next spring. That's what I meant to say. So I have some gorgeous Costco bulbs and I ordered a bunch from Longfield Garden. Again, I did a different video about that, but I am so excited to get my bulbs planted in this bed. But the first thing I got to do is kind of the hard part, which is like pull everything out, clear everything away, and make room. So I've really been waiting to do this project for a little bit of a break in the rain, a little bit of break in my schedule. Sometimes with gardening, you got to just slip it in when you have time. So I have this short window of time today. I'm going to get all of these plants out of here and clear it out and make room for bulb planting and hopefully get a few fall plants planted today. So just to give you a little backstory of this area, my husband and I actually put in this paper patio this spring. He helped me. We worked really hard to get these nice, huge pavers down to make a little bib here for our garden shed. So in here we have tools. I have my dried flowers, just that stuff, Christmas decorations, some things that, we have had some issues with moisture, so we try not to keep, super precious things in here, but it's just that working space with this garden shed that's so helpful to have in the yard. Anyways, we put this up, you guys, right when we were first getting married and purchasing this house. It's one of the first things we did on the property. So it's kind of special for me and I really enjoy it. So this spring, Vego Garden reached out to me and asked if I would like to try one of their elevated garden beds. And of course I said, yes, please. I could always use more planting space. And I really enjoyed this garden bed. It matches the rest of mine, but you can see here, not only is my poor little yard art very tired, you guys, I did black paint pen on him this spring and he had stripes and was so cute, but it all washed off. So I was really bummed about my yard art. But anyway, you can see that these are just done. They're just done for the season. I had some really pretty black petunias in here. But again, our days are it's just not the right weather for them anymore. And then back behind here, here's some remnants of our windstorm that we had. I'm finding that everywhere. I do have some spider plants. Now, these are just a house plant that I put in here for the spring and summer. So my, decision would be, do I want to go ahead and take those out? You can see they've put on a lot of growth. Or do I want to leave them in there and just do my fall display around them? Now, at this point, I think what I'm going to do is grab my shovel and dig those out of there and bring them in, because if they're subject to frost, they will die. And they put on a lot of growth. So I really love that particular spider plant. So I think I'm going to go ahead and dig those out. What I'm not going to keep is any of the zinnias here in this bed. I'm going to try to clear this all out of here. And then also I have a small pocket planter on the other side. So I'll go around the other side and show you what I have in there. So you can see why I am pulling these today, you guys. Even these blooms that might still come, they're all, crooked. They're all flopped over. They've been taken over by powdery mildew. They've cracked in the windstorm that we had. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to get this out of here. It is obstructing the grass growth and just the airflow here now that it gets so wet. It's just time to get these out of here. So I've got my wheelbarrow here and I am going to be loading stuff up. I just wanted to show you on this side, I have a small planter. I just found this at the thrift store and I've had in here this Lophus compact white. It's called a Lophus. And it's been pretty cute. You know, it survived a lot of heat. I wouldn't say it bloomed again. So I don't know that I would do it again, but it's been okay this summer. Now I'm going to be replacing this with some pansies. Those will look pretty this time of year and also into the spring. Here's some examples of some of the damage of the windstorm that came through. You can see a lot of these branches they have snapped. They're done. So it's really time to get these out of here. Again, it kind of hurts because there's still bloom heads here, but you have to wonder, if the bottom of the plant isn't healthy here, I don't know how much longer these have anyway. So my goal is to get this, all of the zinnias pulled out of this area today. I am going to be leaving the straw flower. You can see they're all budded up. Straw flower is so interesting. So when it's damp and cold, they close up like this. And then when it gets to be a warm day, they all open up. And some of them open so far that they actually release their seed, which is kind of like, it reminds me of a dandelion. Like it has a bit of fuzz to it and it just floats, right? It just floats into the air. So I am going to be leaving these, and I am impressed how long in the season I'm able to enjoy and cut on these straw flowers. It's interesting how they close up and open up depending on the weather. Now I'm going to try to shake the roots of these as much as I can and leave as much of the soil as I can in the garden bed. But I'm not going to be cutting them off at the base because I'm going to be replanting bulbs. I want to get these root balls out of here. So it's amazing to think this is one zinnia seed. Think about that. That's one seed, and that's in a small bed. So these zinnias were, I would say, a little miniature. Oh, there goes that one. But they were a little miniature because they were in this smaller bed. If they were in one of my bigger garden beds, they would have gotten even bigger than this. But it's amazing to think that's from one seed. It always gets me, It's a miracle. See how much of the dirt comes out with the plant. I mean, it almost would be better to just cut off the plant if I wasn't planning on planting bulbs here. I would definitely do that because there's a lot of material here that I'm losing to pull these out. Oh, I've got a tag here. This says giant orange zinnias. They were pretty. They're pretty ones. I can try to save them for seed. But anything that's a zinnia, I'm going to get out of this garden bed over here too. So I'm losing track. I'm like over here and over here. Stick with one thing. I feel like I'm doing that more and more lately, trying to get it all done. In fact, since I'm standing right here, this is what I want to get done. All right, I have been waiting to do this. You don't even know. It's been bugging me for so long. I haven't planted anything in this little basket since spring, and I really want a fall display in here, so I'm so excited to yank this out of here. Go. I never did grab the shovel for the spider plants though, but let's get this out of here. Yes. Woohoo! Those summer annuals all done with you. So that was the Crazy Tunia Black Mamba was what I had in there. It was really pretty. I enjoyed it. Okay. And it looks like one of my spider plants did not survive, but I have 3 that have put on a ton of size. And if I didn't have more things to plant, I could leave those in there. Look how pretty they look. Oh, I'll have to flip the camera around. They're gorgeous, actually. But I have other things to plant, so I'm going to pull those out. Got about half the bed done here. And there's still plenty of dirt, so that's good. And now I'm going to go to the other side and finish the other side of this bed, pulling it out. But before I do that, I'm going to grab a shovel and I'm going to grab some pots and pull these out. And I can get them out of here for the winter and put them in my greenhouse and use them next year someplace else. So I have a bunch of zinnias in this bed. And again, just for the sake of doing it today and getting it done, I'm going to pull out anything that is a zinnia. And that way, at least I know all I have left to do is a straw flower after that. This is a zinnia, I think. Oh, I could be wrong. Nope, this is a zinnia. Got one little bloom there. Okay. This is a zinnia. Now, another thing I have in this bed, you guys, is Cresspedia. That's the yellow drumstick flower, and I'm pretty sure they're perennial for me, or at least I can try. So I need to get all this off of here too, because these are still in here and they're starting to get too much moisture. They're going to rot. Again, the straw flower, I could do the same process with the straw flower anytime. I'm just going to focus on one group of plants at a time, one project at a time. But this Cresspedia, I'll share with you in a minute. It needs more light. It needs more airflow. So that's really going to help too. Oh, I got one there. Is it worth saving? Not really. It's just crazy because I remember planting all of these zinnias. The minute I got space, I was planting zinnias in this bed. And it feels like yesterday, you know? It feels like yesterday. And now the season's done. Help! Okay, it's done. It looks so much better. Now it's time for these. Oh, okay. Kind of thought the root ball would come out with that. Oh, all right. Oh my gosh, I'm covered in dirt. Got these little like tubers, little tubers. These pots aren't really that big, but these plants are not going to be happy with me. I can tell you that. I don't think. But they will, because they won't be in the frost and I won't lose them to the frost. So in a way, they will be better off, even though they don't know it right now. But I definitely am going to need to replace some of this soil, I think, because of the way that this plant grows with those tuberous growths. Oops, it's convenient with this garden bed right underneath. I can just use it like a planting table. So I'm just getting these planted up. They're super cute. All right, so now I'm going to get into these. The root ball broke off. So I think what I'm going to do is just, I got this on a hook. I think I'm just going to do one of these because I'm pretty sure that root ball filled this whole container. There's one. Yep, that's what usually happens. Okay, so I'm getting in here. I'm going to try to pull some of these, but man, some of them are in here. So my garden philosophy this season has been, just like a little bit at a time. So I get off work around 5 o'clock. I get out here, I do one thing or even half a thing or even half an hour of a thing. And that just gives me just enough time to feel like I got something done, but I don't have to like do it all in one night or one, gardening session. So that's something I've also learned from the garden this year is like, take it slow. Like find one area, do a little bit, and then rest. And then think about a plan for what you want to do next. What's the next logical thing that needs to happen? That's helped me a lot in the garden. But I also have, learned that lesson the hard way. I threw my back out recently doing what I think was mostly kind of overdoing it in the garden. And so, yeah, that's definitely what I've learned the hard way. All right, so I'm going to get in here. I got to go this way here and clip some of these stalks because I'm not going to try to pull all this. I really don't care right now. I will probably eventually pull them out because I want to plant spring bulbs here. But right now I have this trellis to contest with. I've got giant plants that are wet and I am just trying to like fight the good fight here and get this stuff out of here. There's also mildew in here. Some of my Crispidia I can see has succumbed to the powdery mildew. It's just too much, not enough sun through here anymore. All right, here's my trellis. Yesterday I was out here and I got myself with the loppers pretty good. That wasn't fun. All right, so here it is. So this is the trellis system I tried out for the zinnias, and I mean, it did help, I think, but it was not substantial enough, not for the size that my zinnias got and the height that they got. I definitely want to keep this and use it again for something else. I think it was okay, but it just wasn't big enough for the aggressive nature of the zinnias. So not sure about this for next year. All right, well, here is how things are looking right now. I've been at it for a while. You can see, unfortunately, all of that lack of sun has really taken a toll on the grass here, but I got all the zinnias pulled out, which means now I can see that Crispidia that I planted. Now, I think I've lost a couple plants because I think they were just too wet, but I think there's still hopefully some here that can perennialize. So I don't think I'm going to be pulling these out this year just to try and see. You can see all the straw flower I left in for now. Again, this is my next bit of garden work. I'm not going to try to tackle it all in one night. And then over here, it looks so much cleaner and better. Everything's pulled out of here. And now I have some room for some fall things. Again, it's pretty muddy here, but I went ahead and moved Alice and the bunny. And I might try to find some kind of potted plant or something to put there in the center. And then I'm going to plant up some of these plants here in the container. So in the little basket here and in the little thrifted basket. And then I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do here, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be planting some spring bulbs. So I don't know if I'll get to that today, but I'm really glad to have this area cleared out. It was really, really bad. Let me show you everything that I pulled out of that bed. I mean, look at this. This is a pretty big wheelbarrow and it is completely full. So this is all just zinnias of those two garden beds. So you can see how Zinnias are just an amazing bang for your buck. They are so giving. They're so beautiful and productive and one of my favorite flowers to grow. It is time to say goodbye to that particular area and that stand of the zinnias, but you guys, I still have some that are still going, and these will go until the first frost. And so they're just such a wonderful and beautiful flower to grow. Have learned a lot about staking and support and how much room and support that they need to really thrive. But I just so enjoyed them this year. But I'm grateful to have them gone now and be able to transition this area, and it just feels much more tidy and manageable at this point. So it's just one more garden task off the fall to-do list, and I'm really glad I got it done. So now I'm going to get in there. I'm going to take a little break, to be honest, because again, gardening, of a certain age, I'm taking my time. I'm learning my limits. I'm going to take a little break, and then I'm going to come back out and plant these gorgeous plants, you guys. I'm hoping I can fill this basket, and it's going to look so pretty. So I can't wait to get started on that. So I guess what I mean to say is not gardening of a certain age. I didn't really mean it like that. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, for me personally, I'm a woman approaching 50, and I have to learn to take it easy because I've injured my back. I've I don't move the same way as I used to. I don't have the same stamina that I used to. I have a full-time teaching career. I have 2 children. I have to pace myself. So I guess I will just speak for myself. I guess I misspoke. It's not that I mean a woman of a certain age. I mean that for me at this age, as a gardener, I have to take it easy. I have to plan my projects. I have to think about what I'm doing and learn to pace myself. And it's something I'm struggling with and something I've got to deal with. So I hope that that clarifies what I meant to say. I think you can garden at any age. And I think that I would encourage you to garden at any age. I think it's a great exercise, at least for me in my life. This is my main exercise. I try to lift some weights, but I'd rather lift pots. So I think it's an amazing, healthy, hobby to have at any age. But I also think that, like, I have to remember that I'm not the same age I used to be, I guess. So that's just something I'm going through. So drop me a comment if you get me, if you see me, if I hopefully can see you. Us ladies got to stick together. We're going through this journey together, and there's a lot to go through, at any age. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and start to lay out what I'm thinking about doing here. I really grabbed these little baby cabbages for this project specifically, and I've kind of just had them around. So I'm going to groom them just a little bit here. And what I was thinking is to have every other one be the purple and white. Even just that. Now, I did think about putting maybe a marigold in between for some height. Maybe I could put the marigolds in the back because I have 3 of them. Nope, I have 2 of them, and then I have one of these ostrospermum. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one of these, put the ostrospermum in the middle because it's been a singleton for a while. And that'll be good on that. And then these are, I'm looking at my pansy selection here. I've got, I don't know, I might try to tuck some pansies in between, but let's put the rest of the cabbage here. So we're going to go white and purple. Some of this purple and white, and I have 3 of them, so I could do 1, 2, 3. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll do the yellow and orange pansies in these containers. So now I'm just going to go ahead and get everything potted up. They all have soil with them, so I'm just going to keep that soil with them, and then I'll fill in as needed with other potting soil. I am going to face the cabbages forward. Oh, this is so gorgeous. I have been waiting so long to do this. I don't know why I have waited so long to do it, but it's just going to be so pretty. Okay, guys, well, the rain is here. I am wet. I am cold. I got this area done. I hosed it all down and it's ready for a planting bulb. So let me flip the camera around. I'll show you how things turned out. And I'm going to head inside and get warmed up with a nice warm cup of tea. All right, friends, well, here is an after shot of how things look now that this area is cleaned up. It looks so much better. It was sort of chaotic here for a while, and so it's really nice to have this cleaned up and have my view back of my beautiful elevated garden bed. I'm going to be planting this up with some bulbs soon, so stick around for that video. But I got everything sort of tidied up here. You can see my little container here has still got a few fingerprints on it, but I was able to get the rest of the pansies planted up and this window box planted up. So I love the way this turned out. It's so pretty with the marigolds that I grew from seed, all of the pansies that'll really pop in the spring too, and then these gorgeous cabbage in the front, or kale, decorative kale here. I just love the way that this looks, and it's so pretty here for the rest of the winter and fall season. So if you stuck around till the end of the video, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you've been a viewer for a while, thank you so much for sticking around with me and checking out my garden transformations. Leave me a comment and let me know what you're working on in your garden here in the fall season. If you need me, I'll probably be out here doing some gardening. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.